Hi, welcome. Thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to talk about mistakes I had made in an investment and what are the consequences after realizing it. So it's like you could have done it, but then you didn't do it. Can I go back and do it? No, the time is gone. There's nothing that you can do. But can I do right now for me to see the future based on the past experience? Certainly, yes, I can. So let's dive into it and then try to understand. In my past videos, we discussed about the investments, time, and results, or what are the predictable expenses, unpredictable resources you might be having. And then last video, we talked about inflation. Now let's get into the mistakes I have made in investment. Now, whenever you pass out of your college, you're fresh, energetic, trying to find a job. You're lucky enough to find a job, particularly back in 1999 when I did my hotel management. I'm lucky enough to find a first job in a five-star hotel. I mean, I was fortunate to get it, even though I was making 2,500 rupees as a trainee supervisor. Well, having said that, I never understood a power of compounding, and no one thinks about power of compounding. Who cares? You just make money, 2,500. I was just paying my expenses, probably 500 to 600. Well, I used to send money to my parents, so whatever the money I could say, like 500, 700, just for their expenses. So if you look back, it's so funny that how much we used to do for those similar small amounts, and then as we speak today, how much money you make and the expenses are you still struggling to barely survive. That's the power of inflation. Thanks to that, though. So at the age of 20, there's no way that I understood what is the power of compounding. So all that I know is that okay, you make, you get money, you spend, you move on, and this is the only thing, basic knowledge. And pretty much eventually at the time when you're a kid, going for the parties, spending time in the night, spending time with the friends, going weekends, to see that the money is already less, but then yes, we had a good time. So basically, there's sometimes used to borrow the money from the friends. Oh, okay, next month salary is coming, you should be okay. All right. So the third point is that what is the importance when you're making money and then when you lose a job? So you still have certain expenses that you need to meet, and that's where I realized that you need to have a certain backup plan. So that's the first realization after 3 years of working. I just left the job for whatever the reasons. Thank God, then I find a job less than a month. But then that period was a good lesson for me that in a month or two to get back the money for the same expenses that you need to uh, incur. So it's very important at that time for me to understand, oh yeah, I need to have some money backup so that I can survive for some time even if I don't have a job. But then the only way I knew that time was just to go find a job and again start making money. So there is not even a thinking of investing of how it could have saved my 20 years of part of my salary if I would have invested. It's not that I didn't make money from last 20 years till today I make money, but part of it if I would have invested today I wouldn't need to work. Unfortunately, fortunately, and that's the fact. I didn't do the investment. I didn't understand the power of compounding. Now, why do I need to make these videos? Because somewhere, somehow, someone will help based on looking at my experiences and understanding how the financial education can help you to build your future. So that's my motivation for you to understand and how it can help you, whichever the stage you are in. It's never late to start anytime. The best day to start your investment is today. So always remember that. It doesn't matter which, but as I said last time, it's not about how much you make, it's all about how much you keep. If you can't save with what you make now, you're not going to save even if it gets tenfold in the coming future. Now, I'm just going to give a little analytics of how it could have compounded, and just with the two specific examples I'm taking. I'm not suggesting anyone to invest on this arena. So I think obviously at the time Nobody would come and tell you this is Infosys stock that you need to pick up and it's going to raise up, 20 years down the line, you're going to make 10 lakhs out of it. Or, say, okay, gold is a good investment, invest in this, in 20 years, it's going to reach 10 grams, 3,800 rupees. So I just thought of what could have been just a simple discipline would have given me some money today, even if I don't look at it. Now let's go back. So as I said, I started working back in 1999. So I remember my salary was 2,500. The time expense was not high, but then eventually I started getting less than 6 months, 3,500 rupees to 3,750 rupees. We got some tips, etc. So I could have easily saved, say, for argument's sake, say if I started investing 2,000 rupees from that day onwards for 12 months for 20 years, and which gives you about 4,80,000 just by dumping. I'm not talking about any investments. I'm not talking about any, you put in a fixed deposits or recurring deposits, or, put in invest in a stocks, gold. I'm not referring anything. Even you just take the money and then you're just putting, not the currency deflation, of course, I'm talking about, but then I'm just trying to understand. I want you to understand the concept. So it would have been closely 5 lakhs as we speak today. Without investing on anything, you still have 5 lakhs with you. It's a simple discipline. It could have helped you. If I needed that money, I could use that. It's just a simple logic I just want to use. Now let's take one simple example. In 1999, the 10 grams gold between 1999 to 2015, I'm just talking about. So in 1999, for 2,000 rupees, I could buy 3 grams of gold. Now, if you convert the 3 grams, just that first investment I'm talking about, I'm not talking about any compounding, I'm not talking about any, 17% compounding into 20 years, it will become so on so much. I'm not talking about the first 2,000. If you would have invested, I would have got 3 grams of gold, because that time I pretty much see in the historical data you can get about 2,500 odd. So was the 10 grams gold. So say fast forward, say 5 years I continuously invested 2,000 rupees. So a day, at the rate of 24,000 rupees per year into 5 years is roughly comes about 1,20,000 rupees at the end of say 2004. Now, at the end of the 2004, the gold cost for 10 grams was 6,000 rupees. Now, you go fast forward today, 10 grams gold is 38,000 rupees. Now, you do your math, your returns on 1,20,000 would be 7,60,000 as we speak, okay? Now, let's take a second similar scenario. Let's say about, someone invests in a stock. Say you happen to find someone told you Infosys is the best one that you're going to find. So say for example, God came in your dream and told you, okay, gentlemen, this is the stock you need to buy and then hold for 20 years, 10 years. So let's take that example. So when it's initially came, it's about 50 rupees the stock price. Say if the same thing, 20,000 rupees, sorry, 2,000 rupees if I had, I would have bought the first 2,000. I would have bought 60 shares of Infosys. As we speak today, it's about 750 rupees. It gives you about 60,000 just on 2,000 rupees. Just on 2,000 rupees. So fast forward, say the same similar example, if I would invest 1,20,000 into, in 2004, it reached from 50 to about 100 rupees a stock. I would pretty much buy 1,200 stocks of Infosys. Say I bought it, I just put it somewhere and then I forgot. Say that would pretty much give you 8 to 9 lakhs as we speak today. Now that's power of compounding. Now, even if you don't, even if you won't compound, and on an average, I think even if you started investing in a stocks with a 17% returns, you get a lot of money. But then most of the time, where we understand, I'm not getting into those where you should invest. I'm not this, as I said, a professional financial advisor to tell you where. It's all based on your needs. It seems like you need to go to the doctor for your health concerns. Financial doctors are there, but then you have to be very careful on what you get into it. So I'll get into the next episode on what are the mistakes I have done just by asking some stupid questions to the others who is not a pretty much financial doctor. They're just also exploring you some positive things that you could look at it, but looking at the inflation, you need to take certain chances, certain steps that where on the way you're going to fail, and that's where you're going to learn and then move forward and take the best, which could the better you fail and the faster you fail in this financial arena, so the smaller amount is better for you to so that you don't take a big risks at the initial stages, so that when it's an experience it's going to give you, and how you can stabilize and streamline moving forward. So this just a glimpse of the mistakes I made, and then how the simple discipline would have been given me a good returns on whatever the money I made. And now even if you say that, who would tell you, come and tell you, okay, Madhu, just go and buy Infosys stock? Nobody's going to tell you. Or we're talking about Infosys stock just because it's doing good today. At the same time, probably there are 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 stocks for trading, and some of the companies probably you won't even see as we speak. So again, finding the right businesses, finding the right opportunities, and yes, there are some financial advisors will tell you, but then at the end of the day, you need to decide on how much risk you can take. And there are some safe investments you can do. You just blindly close your eyes. The government, banks gives you 7% of fixed deposits. When the tax goes away, you get about 4.5%. It's still a better returns than did investment you have somewhere else. Just to start off a safe zone, and just to start, and then eventually you need to start taking risks.